There are other people's stories to tell tonight. There are stories of survival. I've spent much of the day talking to people who have survived, people who have lost partners and loved ones. Joshua Lewis and Richard Aiken were at Pulse Saturday night. Joshua actually managed to get out of the club while his friend Richard was held hostage in a bathroom stall with several other people and could hear the shooter talking. The two friends were texting throughout the ordeal. I spoke to them both a short time ago. Where in the bathroom were you?
We were in the stall. I was in the stall, the handicap part. So it's basically you have the first part of the bathroom, which is the entrance, then you have the urinals, the sink, and then you have the big handicap. And that's where I was at. And then we started hearing pop, 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 pop. And then me and my best friend, we just went inside the stall, and then we started hearing.
Did you know it was gunshots?
I knew it was gunshots only because I've fired weapons before. So I can distinguish between, this music and then an actual gunfire. So my best friend, Tevin, he was just saying, like, is this for real? Is it for real? Are there somebody really shooting? And, like, people kept coming inside the bathroom, like, running inside, and, they just kind of crammed in there. I got on the floor. We just got on the floor, and people just kept coming in, and pretty much they got on top of me.
How many people were in that?
There were 9 of us in there. There was 9 of us in there. We were just all in there crammed up, and my best friend, he was just kind of looking out the door, trying to see if the gunman was coming. And obviously, when the man came behind, the gunman came in the entrance, he fired some shots. My best friend Tevin, he closed the door, and at that point.
So the door to the bathroom was open.
Yeah, the main entrance of the bathroom door is open.
Right.
But the stall that we were in, it had a door.
Right.
And the lock was broke. So I mean, the gunman can still come in. He has a gun, so he can obviously still come in. But once he came inside the bathroom, he fired some shots. I'm not sure if.
Do you know how long had the shooting been going on before the gunman actually came into the bathroom?
So when we was in the bathroom, we was getting ready to walk out. There were like 2 sets of rapid, I would say like about 5 rapid gunshots in two different sets. So it was pop, 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 and then. That's when we started to wonder, like, is this real? Is it for real? Then people continued to come in. People kept coming in, and we kept just hearing this continuously rapidly gunfire, and it just got closer and closer.
So you could actually hear the gunfire getting closer?
Yes, getting closer. When the guy came in, he fired some shots. I want to say, I'm not 100% sure, that's when maybe Tevin got shot. I know other people, my best friend, because when he came in, obviously, Tevin, he hurried up and shut the door, and the guy fired some shots. People that was on the other side of the stall that wasn't inside with us, I know that they got hit.
While you were in the stall, when did you start texting Joshua?
I called my mom first. I called my mom first to tell her what was going on.
This is before the gunman came to the bathroom?
Right. Before he came in the bathroom, and even while he was in there, I was on the phone with my mom, telling her everything that was going on. My phone was like on 20%. I told her I needed to get off the phone because I didn't want to be without a phone, so I continued to text her throughout the whole time.
What were you saying to her?
I was just telling her that, I'm at the club. As a guy, they're shooting, and I wanted to, for her to pray. And I kept telling her to pray with me, and she started saying some prayers. And after the prayer, I told her I was going to go ahead and get off the phone. And I would text her, so we just text, the remaining of the night. But when the gunman came inside the bathroom, people's phone was going off. They were ringing, texting. The gunman said, "Please, no texting, no talking on your phone."
So he was saying that to everybody in the bathroom.
He was telling that to everybody. Please, no texting, no talking. He was a calm person. He wasn't
yelling or
right.
Screaming.
He wasn't yelling or screaming or being combative with anyone. He just said, please, no texting, no talking.
Did he actually say please?
Yeah. He said, please, no texting, no talking. People's phone obviously still going off, ringing, and at that point he would say, whose phone is it? Give me your phone. And they would slide the phone under the door.
So could you actually see him at this point, or he's outside the stall?
We couldn't see him because he never actually came inside. And if he did, I couldn't see because my head, I'm turned around with my head, to the wall, so I didn't see anything really. And people kind of on top of me, so I wasn't really trying to look. I was just pretty much hiding. But he was saying, like, just give me the phones whenever it rang. They would give him the phone. At one point, I can hear him reloading his weapon. I can hear him dropping the bullets, picking them back up, and just reloading his clip to his weapon. At one point, he did get on the phone and was speaking to, obviously, the police. He called 911, that I was told. He called 911, and...
But you didn't actually hear him talking to 911, or did you?
I did hear. My mother told me later on that he actually called 911 because I thought that someone called him.
Okay.
But my mom told me later that he called 911.
So you heard him talking to authorities, but you didn't know he had called 911.
Right. So I heard him on the phone talking to the people, and he was saying that his name was Omar. I forgot his last name. That he pledged his allegiance to ISIS, and that...
You heard that? Clearly.
Yes, that he pledged his allegiance to ISIS, and that that we were bombing his people, and that we needed to stop bombing his people. And after the telephone call, he hung up. He told everyone in the stall that he had no problem with black people. He had no problem with black people, and he even referenced the South Carolina shooting at the church.
He talked about that?
Yes.
Do you remember what he said?
He didn't say much about it. He just said, do you remember the shooting in South Carolina at the church? He said, I don't have a problem with black people. And that was the end of that subject as far as the church. He did say that, there were 4 of us left. There were 4 of us left, and they were positioned, was it north, east, south locations like snipers, and that there were 4 of us left. And I texted that to him, and I'm like, get this to these people like now and let them know exactly where we are.
So the gunman was saying that there was 4
of them left.
4 survivors left, or 4 gunmen left?
4 of them left.
So he was acting as if there were multiple
There were more
shooters.
people, yes.
Okay.
Yes. He did say something about a vest, like he was strapped with a vest, and then, I'm just like, oh my gosh,
What do you want people to know, Joshua?
Do not take life for granted, because you never know when your last breath may be. Cherish the people around you. Petty argument situations where people, a lot of times you go a long time without speaking to people, and then when things like this happen, you regret, oh, well, I stopped talking to them because of this happened. Why didn't I? You feel bad because you held this grudge that you shouldn't have held, or you should have forgiven. You should always show love.